next order of business, public comment. Is there any comment from the public? Apparently not. We'll move on to item 4, design review. First order of business is the Kearns Building at 116 East Calendar Street.
Correct.
And your name?
David Bushnell.
David? Thanks for coming, David. You want to just kind of walk us through what you're here for?
We're doing asbestos removal presently, and then we're going to repair the masonry that needs repairing on the building, and then we're going to put a new coat of paint on it and make her pretty.
Okay.
Getting rid of the asbestos is a big deal in itself.
Yeah.
It's the majority of the project.
Right, okay. And I saw, you have the building tented and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
What's your timeline on the asbestos abatement?
Blasting finalized on Friday.
Oh, cool, okay.
Now 7 tons of glass bead and water, and the material is being cleaned up this week.
You have to haul that off and,
Yeah.
wow.
All right, they don't want to.
All right, well, did everyone get an opportunity to see the email with the exterior elevations on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that building, when you're blasting, you're taking off all the old paint that's on there now?
Yeah, it was a rubberized coating from the 70s or something that had the asbestos in
Okay.
it.
And the whole building's was painted, right?
No, just alley and calendar.
Just the alley and calendar?
And that is how it's going to remain.
Okay, so you're just painting the alley and calendar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not attached to the fire hall?
It is physically attached, but it's not, Walter's building's not painted on the fire hall side or the back side.
Oh, so there is a fire hall side. That's what I was asking. I thought it was attached.
It is.
Oh, they would have to. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you only see the
I asked
second
that.
floor of it because of the fire hall. And I brought paint chips so you could physically look at them.
So we're looking at a Gibraltar for the
masonry
paint.
work.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And then the carp green for the lower panels, and the white tie for the windows that are presently kind of a teal upstairs. And the trim work on the panels that would now be green
all right.
on the Main Street level.
Are those all those windows wood?
No, I replaced those windows
Okay.
8 years ago,
With
9 years ago.
aluminum
Covers.
or
Interior wood, exterior clad.
okay.
Yeah, in a kind of a bronze clad on the exterior.
Okay. And
So
that's what
that won't get touched. Just the
Oh.
trim, just the trim around.
Oh, just the trim around, not the
Yep.
sash or the frame
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
Okay.
Just the casing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just what, a 1 by
It is
2 or something?
2.5 inches maybe.
Okay.
On 3 sides, 2 verticals, 1 horizontal on the top.
Right. And then the sills and that kind of continuous head across, that'd all be the same color as
That
the,
would, they do
as
not
the
want to
outside?
mix it up,
Yeah.
even though I kind of would, but they
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
So I'll keep it simpler.
Right. All right. Is there,
And that Gibraltar is kind of a dark gray.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll show you all. Keep it
Okay.
all.
If
If they make a change, it's going to be to a lighter gray.
Okay.
But at this point, we're submitting it as such.
and you're gonna sandblast the front and the alley side?
That's correct, Calendar Street and Alley.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
correct.
okay, that's not too dark.
So that will be the majority of the
Can I see
color.
them?
I was pleased with the color choice.
Oh, good.
Makes it look like a restoring.
Good. Those Walter and Amanda's choices.
And you're gonna repaint the alley side then too?
Yes, same scheme.
That's just a cement block, isn't it?
We have one picture window immediately at the corner of the alley, but yes, and some upper windows. Majority of the windows on the calendar face up top. Of course, we got the storefronts down below.
Mhm.
Well, we used to be. Walter's office presently is.
so I see you've got the green color on the kind of the base panels that
Yeah.
run underneath the storefront.
Can I
Right.
see them?
Yeah.
Recessed panels.
Yep. And then, and what about the verticals, the window separations between the glass?
That would probably be, I would assume, the white tie.
The white tie.
I would assume.
Okay.
If not, it would be better the dark green, I believe.
Okay.
which is similar to what it is now.
Sure.
Give me your last name, please.
Bushnell,
Bushnell.
USHNL.
Kate and Geyser.
Me?
Yeah, did you at one point, when Marty Claire's trailer caught fire?
No.
There was a Bushnell there, I thought that was.
No, I'm on the line grass. There's a Bushnell in Clyde Park and a few in Bozeman. No relation. You guys are welcome to keep these for your.
Okay, yeah, that would be, I think we should.
Probably be a good idea.
Thanks.
Scan them and see how good they come out.
How I?
I'll scan them and see how true they come out.
All right.
Those are duplicates of these, and it's going to end up being Benjamin Moore paint, but the colors
Yeah,
it's fairly
that's the
accurate.
same, yeah. Okay, is there any other discussion? Do we have a motion to approve the color scheme at 116 East Calendar Street?
I move that we approve the colors.
Motion's been made, is there a second? Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the colors presented at 116 East Calendar Street. Any further discussion?
Yay.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed the same? Motion passes.
Far out, cool.
Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate
Thank
you.
you, David.
I will need something in writing for the urban renewal at some juncture.
Is that,
Yeah, I'll get it
Okay.
that next couple days.
Okay, no problem, don't worry. We're probably going to be there close to the end of the month. Yeah.
I don't
Appreciate
know
it.
whether this
Thank
would
you.
apply to your renovations or not, but have you heard about CPACE at all?
Of what?
CPACE?
No.
It's a new program in Montana, in Livingston, that I'm assuming gives you some sort of a tax benefit for any kind of energy improvement.
Oh, energy improvement, uh-huh.
So I don't know if that's anything that you're doing would apply there.
When we changed the windows out, it surely would have.
Yeah, definitely.
Surely would have.
Yeah, but that's a new program just in the last.
CPAC, did you say?
CPACE,
CPACE.
P-A-C-E.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Urban Renewal would probably be aware of it if they're
uh-huh,
not. Are you
right.
gonna go talk to them?
No, they're excited about the project.
Good.
Yeah, they've been very
Yeah.
helpful that way. All right, thank you all.
Yep, thanks for you.
Have a good afternoon.
Appreciate
We appreciate it. Okay, second order of business is Cactus Blossom Collective, 111 West Calendar. This is a paint scheme. Do we proceed with this, Jim, if they're not present, or?
You can if you're comfortable, but looking for an application. I'm not sure the application still says that your presence is mandatory. I don't see it on the application.
No, I thought it did.
It used to. I didn't redo it. Matthew did.
I would think someone would have to be, only because if we had questions.
Well, certainly if you have questions that can't be answered, that's a reason to table it.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if, I've looked at it, and they've done their walkthrough kind of graphic, or in text on what they'd like to do, and I'll read it, and I guess we can decide if there's any questions, but, so it's Cactus Blossom Collective. I'd say it says we would also like to add a very small painted icon to each side of the window. This would only measure approximately 1.5 feet tall. The image would be a minimal leaf or something close to that. So they're showing a little leaf pattern on the side panels that are adjacent to the windows. Now, are those were windows that were at some point covered up with
Boarded
ply-
over?
boarded with plywood.
Quite some time ago.
Yeah. The second item, remove the old Cactus Blossom Collective vinyl and add button of window keywords. And it says window measures 7 foot 7 inches.
Window.
Is that what that?
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh.
It's misspelled.
Okay.
They were talking about these, it says
The little paint.
vintage, local art, and slow fashion. I think that's what they're talking about,
Okay.
which, fine.
Okay. Update circle sign to something like this, which is just the cactus blossom in text. You've got two options. One's just a heavier font. And that would happen on the applied sign over the windows.
They want to move it.
And they want to move it to the end of the building to make space for a painted logo across the center of the building. So move Cactus Blossom to the corner and then have their Cactus Blossom Collective. It says painted logo. I don't know if that means just the lettering. It says hand-painted sign measuring approximately 9 feet long by 2 feet high, which I assume again is the Cactus Blossom Collective on the above the entry. Jim, I assume all this meets the maximum, or is under the maximum allowable
It is,
signage?
yep.
It is. Well, do we have any discussion regarding this?
I have no problem with it at all.
They looked good to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way, so, okay. Well, then, yeah, even moving the sign, I don't think is gonna really affect anything, that applied signage. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the signage at, I'll get back into the,
I move we approve the Cactus Blossom Collective application as submitted.
okay?
I
so-
second the motion.
Okay, so motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of Cactus Blossom Collective signage at 111 West Calendar, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same. Motion passes. And third item under design review is the Fainting Goat Pub signage at 122 North Main Street. And again, I assume everyone's seen what they're proposing is a 30 by 40 sign that would be, it's on aluminum. It's the goat holding the beer, and that will be applied to what I assume is an existing wall mount. Is that correct?
I think that one is going to be new.
This one is going to be new.
Yeah.
Their little photoshops are showing. Oh, I see. That little arm is the light.
Right, yeah, they've got those gooseneck lights, and this,
And the sign, there's no sign there now,
there's no signs, okay.
but the four lights are there.
Yeah, this is Park Street, and this is Main. It's a well-shaped, or V-shaped building.
I guess I never realized that they were the same building.
It doesn't show anything about how they're going to hang it or anything. That's
Right.
Bar and grill is in between.
They're showing an example of lighting, they're showing the sign, they're showing a sign on the existing pole at the outdoor.
on Park Street, there's a sign there. I think that standard and hanger and everything is there.
Is-
It's got a square sign that says
Yeah.
Glenn's
Right,
Yeah.
right now. So they're going to
So
replace
replace that.
Glenn's sign.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious as well as how that building mounted sign is going to be applied. They've got an example of lighting and mounting a sign printed on aluminum which says the King's Head. So they're probably looking at some sort of bracket, but again, I don't, how do we
And
assume?
is it going to be lit? Are they going to do anything with those existing lights? I don't know. Do they work now, Jim?
The ones on Main Street?
Yeah,
If they do, I sure haven't noticed them.
I haven't either, especially the two big white
Mhm.
globes.
Sizzle lights on the Main Street side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like there's the glass globe one, and then there's the gooseneck one
Yeah.
that points at the window.
yeah.
And I guess I'm just confused because the Photoshop that they did makes it look like it's hanging on the light.
That was my
Right.
first thought as well.
And it's like, can we clarify and see if it's going over the door? Or are they like reading one light and taking the other out?
Right.
I would suggest that if you're okay with the sign itself,
Yeah.
is to allow them to install the one on the existing bracket and then bring back some details on the mounting of the other one.
I think that's a good idea, because obviously they're gonna take Glen's Food and Spirits off the Main Street
Right,
window there,
right.
you know, and they didn't mention that at all, did they?
No.
I'm good with that.
Okay, I am as well. So is there a motion to approve the signage as submitted with, I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion to approve the signage as submitted with a request to return with the bracket and mounting, on all, the bracket and the way they're going to mount the building signage
Main Street side.
On Main Street.
on Main Street.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, let me revise that. I make a motion to approve the signage as submitted, the signage at the Park Street pole sign as submitted, and that the owner come back with the bracket and mounting technique for the building mounting on Main Street. Is that,
Can I amend that to include the window signs on Main
Yeah,
Street?
we're approving this one.
and come back with any window signage on
And
Main
any
Street?
lighting of either side.
Because right now it's not very.
Okay, and lighting of either side. So the motion's been made, motion's been amended to include lighting and window signage. They need to, we're asking that they return with lighting and window signage and mounting on Main Street.
Yes. Seconded?
Okay. So motion's been made, amended, and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, right. All right, all those in favor of the signage and the amendment to the motion at Fainting Goat Pub, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, the same. All right, motion passes with the amendment.
Ron, say it again fast, 3
Aye,
times.
okay. My brain hurts already. Okay, now there's no other design review on the agenda, but we had a Wolf's sign, is that?
Mm-hmm.
What do we want to include that today, or is that
I
not?
think it'll be under old business.
Oh, this is under old business. Okay. All right, then I will get back to the agenda. So new business. Do we have any new business? No new business? Okay, we'll move on to item 6, old business. Go ahead and start with the Wolf's signage. And Jack, I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with this one, so it might have happened as business when I was not here.
Wolf's Mercantile, and I'm not sure what the address is, it's gotta be 106 maybe, South Main?
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
Let me look back here. They came in
Oh, wait, I actually do remember this one.
October of 21, I think.
The one that currently has the sign that Susan's lit on? The post that comes out of the sidewalk?
106 South Main, yeah.
Yeah.
Wolf's Mercantile. They came in October with some front renovation, removing that big yellow awning they had there and some window trim and whatnot. They came back in November of 21. Wanting to do some more work on the front of the building, and add a projecting sign, Wolf's Mercantile. and we approved everything at that time. The application said perpendicular hanging mounting for the sign. And they just give us a picture of the sign evidently. In my mind, I remember seeing the picture of the sign with two guy wires going back to the building.
I didn't send you all of the stuff that I had in the file, but the only drawing was that logo.
Just a sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Evidently, my memory's faulty on that. So it says perpendicular hanging mounting. And we just assumed that it would be something like we just discussed on the Main Street on the pub sign, you know, where it would be a bracket coming out from the building with a sign hanging from it. And when they installed the sign, and that had to be back a couple months ago, I guess. The first mention I have of it.
Has a wrought iron pedestal that goes to the.
Yeah, so anyway,
to the sidewalk.
they put a wood block on the front of the building, and they've got like a pipe coming out, some kind of a pipe coming out with a sign hanging on it. But it goes out to the curb, and then they've got a vertical
Oh, that's right.
in there.
Yeah,
And it isn't what we approved,
right.
basically. And according to Jim, they never came and got a permit, which they needed to do
Mhm.
for that. And so we're to the point now where we're what do we do? In
Right.
the last meeting, Jim said that he referred it to the compliance officer. And I don't know if you heard anything from him about it?
I haven't, but he's working weird shifts, so it's hard for him and I to be on the same schedule. He's also still supposedly looking at the Hyatt House, and there was one other.
Yeah, well, the Hyatt House and Tom's Jewelry, but
Yeah.
Tom's Jewelry going out of business, so.
My only concern with that is how necessary is that horizontal or vertical piece that goes down to the sidewalk? I wouldn't think it'd be necessary as far as the sign, the rest of it being substantial and on its own if we asked him to remove it. That would be my only concern if it's not necessary.
Well, they don't own the sidewalk, and as a result, they would have had to have gotten special permission to be able to mount to it.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, then they would have, like, maybe the sign's too big to hang it the way that they have it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they should be allowed to keep it. It would be my thought. anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the post coming down onto the sidewalk, just
Yeah.
from an architectural standpoint, from
Yeah.
historic downtown
I wondered, I
standpoint.
thought, it's not cosmetic, I wondered.
If it was like, if the building had a sign that had already done that, it would be one thing, but it didn't.
Right.
They did that.
Right,
The cactus blossom sign hung just fine on the, well, it was the awning, but still.
right. Yeah. And this is the same owner that put up the yellow awnings without approval as well, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's still Mary's Court?
I don't know if it's the same owner.
No, I'm not sure if it is.
Oh, okay.
It's the same little shop, it's got all the same
Yeah,
stuff
it's
in
the
it.
same inventory. Mary's Decor to Adore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what it was, right.
yes.
Right.
I like it so much better. I didn't have a problem with their awning before, but now it doesn't look like a circus tent. I mean, it just kind of didn't fit the whole
Right.
downtown.
I like the name better too, but.
Yeah, Wolf's, yeah.
So what are our options at this point, Jim? You know, it's been turned over to the compliance officer. Do we need to have a letter written?
Yeah, I can give him direction as to how to proceed. If you wish to notify them that support's a no-go and they need to resubmit, that's where I would start.
So as a group, do we need to make a motion and request that, or is this just something that we?
I would make a motion to the effect that it's not in compliance with the approval and therefore invalid or something to that effect.
Because it wasn't in the description at all, was it?
That's not
No,
what it
no,
says.
no,
no.
Right.
That wasn't what
I
was.
make a motion that we approach them via the compliance officer and ask them to remove that support wrought iron rod.
Is that the right thing
Yeah,
to do?
that's
Okay.
good enough.
Okay, so the motion's been made to have the compliance officer request removal of the signage as the non-compliant signage,
Support rod.
support rod, yeah, support rod. Okay,
I second it.
okay, so motion's been made and seconded. Is there further discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, the same. Motion passes.
Yeah, I do like what it looks like now. Good,
And the other old business was the sign at the Hyatt House, which is badly in need of maintenance, both neon and paint. And again, we talked about it, and Jim referred it to the compliance officer. I think in the section 3050 of the sign ordinance,
Jack, is the neon not working right? Is it not complete?
never
Oh, I
does.
guess I just focused on the paint job.
It's usually either TT or HY, something on the top, and, you
I
know.
guess it depends on what company you're trying
I
Um,
even volunteered as a professional painter. I volunteered to Scott that if he could get the right equipment, I'd be willing to paint it for free.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem to be a concern.
Anywhere in section C3 of the sign ordinance, it says, all signs as permitted by this section shall be maintained by the owner and kept in good repair and shall be painted and repaired at reasonable intervals. The surface of the ground under the sign shall be kept clear of weeds, rubbish, and whatnot. So I think that would be, and then on C8, the building official is responsible for the enforcement of the sign ordinance. So I think by Jim referring, this thing is not being in compliance with the sign ordinance to the compliance officer, maybe we don't want to have them remove it, obviously.
Well, that's the options, maintain it or remove it. Yep.
Well, I'd hate to see them remove it. I think it's very historic itself, but,
Right.
you know. Continue on. I'll make a comment after that.
I think it went up when Jack and Rose Hyatt bought it. Before that, I don't know how historic it is. Do you remember that corner of the building? It was the Park Hotel originally, but I don't know if the sign said Park Hotel
Yes,
on
it
it.
did.
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
did.
Yes, it did.
Was it the same piece of metal? Was it the same sign?
I think
or
it was a
different
smaller sign.
Really?
Okay.
I got a picture from 1958, I think, that shows Park Hotel.
And that would have been before Rose.
I thought it was,
Hyatt and Jack
I'd have to
bought
look
it.
again, but I thought it was the same sign.
Yeah.
I will make sure that that letter gets delivered.
I
We
don't know what
we don't need another motion on that?
Street.
Do we need to make a motion on that one as well?
I don't think so. It's a direct violation of the
Okay.
ordinance.
That's
It's not
all
the
the old
rip roaring
business I
place
had.
it used to
I have a piece of trivia for you though about that sign. I've been doing walking tours for the museum the last couple of years, and I talked to Dave Depew, who owns the building, I think, and about a elevator in there, and there was an elevator
There
in that
was.
building at one time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. He says, look at that sign, if you look up on the roof of that sign, there's a triangular metal thing with a swoop on it with a light bulb in it. He says, do you have any idea what that is? And I said, well, yeah, it's holding the sign up, obviously, it's supporting the sign. No, the thing with the light bulb, he says, there was about 6 of these in town, in different tall buildings around town, before the police had two-way radios. If they wanted a policeman to come back to the station, they flipped the switch and these light bulbs lit on all these things.
Huh.
That's the only one that's left in town.
Wow. That's kind of
It's
cool.
still got a light bulb in it.
Does
They
it?
used to walk the beat,
Yeah.
and they checked all the back doors. That's how Keith Moran got with his very famous robbing all the businesses downtown, or a number of them. Our chief of police, so we were born then, late 50s.
I've got,
Our chief of police.
I've got his book.
Wow.
Then he wrote a whole book on how innocent he was for all his kids.
Yeah.
He was framed, and I thought, Lyle Junior High, I mean, really, he literally wrote a book on that, how he was innocent.
Wow.
I've got the
Denial's more than a river in Egypt, I'll tell you.
book. Okay, that's all I had in new business, those two signs.
Okay. Any other new business?
Old business.
Or old business, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll move to item 7, staff update.
Don't have a planner yet. I told you it was going to be the first of this month. It's going to be the first of next month. She apparently had some business to tie up, and we're hoping first week in November.
Okay.
Just so they can find a place to live, that seems to be a problem.
She's already got a lease,
Oh, good,
but
good.
she's not moving until end of this month, so hopefully it won't be snowing sideways yet.
Okay. Any other staff updates? I know you're small, you
I
guys
can't
are
even
just-
list the things I got going. Like I was telling you earlier, we've got 4 site plan reviews for different construction projects ongoing. We just, as you probably are aware, we dealt with a subdivision here recently. We've got another one in the pipeline. There's no lack of things going on.
What's your gut feeling, what's gonna happen out there by Printing for Less? Is he just gonna go ahead and do it anyway, or?
Well, that's not an option.
It isn't.
No, it's really not.
Okay.
Jim, is that zoned commercial, or is it residential, or
It's
what?
zoned highway commercial,
Highway
which
com-
allows
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
virtually every land use that isn't industrial. So he's got 2 options. Well, 3. Walk away, come back with a new plan, or go to court. So one of those 3 things is going to happen.
I'm sorry,
Wait and
surprised
see.
there aren't more commercial people chomping at the bit to develop in Livingston the way Bozeman's going.
Well, until it's a chicken and the egg, you don't have any housing, it's hard to invest in commercial property.
There's nowhere for your employees to work, or to live, I mean.
Yeah.
But we do have all the other site plans. Well, we've got a hotel next to the Fairfield. They're going to build another one.
Is it the Windmere, or what's it called?
All I got for a name, they're referring it to is Home 2, which I think is another Marriott.
Or Marriott, that's the word I mean. Yeah, I think Windmere is the.
One is an apartment complex, three buildings out on Garnier and All Spa, I think. And then, of course, we've got the Granary project, which is housing. And we've got another condo development just west of the existing Eagle Landing condos. The Laren property that was annexed here several months ago.
Is it gonna be the same owner as the Eagle Manor?
No, different owner, but very similar looking construction.
Oh, yeah, that's nice looking.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Committee member comments, item number 8. No comments? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, we adjourn then. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Just an aside, the zoning commission is meeting at 5:30 via Zoom, and they're taking up the proposed sign ordinance changes that we submitted.
That's
Tonight.
tonight. Okay.
I don't expect a lot of controversy.
No? Okay.
I'll get on it in case they got any questions or anything. But
So it's a Zoom. I'll try to get on as well.
that's the only thing on the agenda, so
Okay.
we'll do a quick meeting of it.
This is totally off the record, isn't it? Jim, out at, I have a friend that lives beyond Caslin on Wineglass Court. Who names the streets? Absaroka is out there and it's spelled with a C instead of a K. How do they do that? Who gets to name the streets?
Well,
It's
the
like it's
developer
not even
gets to
spelled
name the
right.
streets, but there's no such word with a C.
Well, that street sign's there, and I picked up Jan yesterday, and I go, what the heck, they didn't even spell it right. Well, we're all wrong. That's the English version. I live in the Absaroka Apartments on 3rd and Clark. The Indian tribe it's supposed to be is A-P, Absaluka.
Ah,
Yeah, and we've really slaughtered their tribal name, and they don't seem to mind. Probably, it is Absaluka, and I thought, why are we're making it English.
I mean, if the sign
And
were
we pronounce
spelled
it Absorki.
Absoluka instead of Absaroka with a C.
Yeah, it is with a C. Who
Because when you-
determines that?
Well, if you go down Calendar Street, on 7th and 8th and 9th, the sidewalk stamp is correct, but the street sign is
The
spelled wrong.
calendar, yeah, the name calendar, the green sign is spelled wrong, yeah.
Well,
Just
the
like-
intent was to name that with a K, the way it's commonly used.
Okay,
The sign was obviously built wrong.
is that something that Mike Stordalen can change? He's the head of the street
He
department.
can, I don't know if he will until it's damaged.
Even though it's spelled wrong? Really? I thought somebody's not paying attention, but it's probably someone that's not from here that doesn't know it's spelled wrong.
Or it was just a typo that nobody caught.
Right.
But even, you're talking about the concrete being printed when they did that, there's a street sign calendar that's spelled wrong as
yeah.
well.
Some-
Because
some
calendar is
of them
named
are.
after Northern Pacific Railroad employee from St. Paul, Minneapolis. That's where the name
You
comes
know
from.
that?
Yes.
Document that? I've been trying to document that for 15
Calendar,
years.
Crawford, and Cambridge are all Northern Pacific Railroad officials from St. Paul, Minneapolis. Lewis and Clark is a given. Yeah, they
The
are.
entire town was
Pacific
mapped out
Historical
from
Society in Seattle.
Minneapolis.
I'm always spelling
Was it?
calendar wrong.
It was drawn and superimposed, that's why you've got streets going up the face of the North Side Hill
No
where
records.
there aren't any streets.
We've known that
Even though
forever.
They just
Right on
flatted
the
it from
field.
Minnesota. Hell, Minnesota was flat.
that's awesome.
All the streets.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Well, all the railroad to Havre was the same way.
was it? They
Yeah, Havre's plotted, I think, with the same lot size as our
Well, you know
original.
So far,
Oh, wow.
everybody says, oh, yeah, I'm gonna look it up on
That's
Amazon.
interesting, though. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Well, you know what?
Do it somewhere
Calamity
else and
Jane
don't think about it.
And that's not in any book.
Guess
And
I
I've
could
got a
shut
picture
that
of
off.
it of her my great-grandmother had this thing.
There's 11 askew.
Well, no, because my great-great-grandfather worked for the railroad. when
Yeah,
they
I've
came
gotta
from
get back
Norway,
to
and
the-
then my grandfather, and then my dad, and then my brother.
Any-
And we've
any
always known
light
that,
at
that
the end of
those
the
three
tunnel?
streets were named after the Pacific.
Hopefully,
And
you think.
maybe
Hopefully
you're the one
within
who-
Minneapolis
5 or
does
6
not
weeks
have
of
any
getting
record
help.
of that. How about
But
our
I don't
plants
hold out much
upstairs?
before
Well, I would
that
just give them
because
in, but wouldn't say why.
I can't shut this.
1880 flat map of Livingston, that's the streets all named.